You've heard the name Genghis Khan, the man who built the largest land empire the world has ever seen. But the story of this legendary conqueror is far more complex and frankly more terrifying than you might imagine. How did one man go from an abandoned outcast to the ruler of a quarter of the world's population? And how did his conquests literally change the planet's climate? Let's start at the beginning. Born as Temüjin, his early life was brutal. His father was poised, and his own clan abandoned him and his family to die on the harsh Mongolian steppe, but this hardship forged an unbreakable will. Instead of relying on noble birth, Temüjin built his power on something radical: merit. He promoted his best soldiers, not the ones with the right family tree. He demanded absolute loyalty, and he got it, uniting the scattered, warring tribes of Mongolia into a single, unstoppable force. He wasn't just a raider, he was a nation builder, giving his people a unified code of law called the Yat with his unified army. Genghis Khan turned his gaze outward, and the world trembled. His strategy was simple and chilling: surrender or die. Messengers would arrive at a city's gates offering a choice. If they opened their gates, they would be spared and absorbed into the Mongol Empire, but if they resisted, total annihilation. Entire populations were systematically slaughtered. Historians estimated his campaigns were responsible for the deaths of as many as 40 million people, a staggering 11% of the world's population at the time. This wasn't just battle, it was extermination. His methods were horrifically effective. In Persia and the Middle East, his armies didn't just conquer cities, they destroyed the very means of life. They systematically dismantled the ancient and intricate irrigation canals that had sustained civilization in the arid region for centuries. This act of ecological warfare plunged the area into famine and decay for decades, multiplying the death toll far beyond the initial conquest. The Mongols were even pioneers of biological warfare, catapulting the bodies of plague victims over the walls of besieged cities to spread disease and break the defenders' morale. The scale of the destruction is almost impossible to comprehend. But here's where the story takes some bizarre turns. For a man who reshaped the world, Genghis Khan was obsessed with anonymity. He forbade anyone from creating his portrait or any statues. Every single image you've ever seen of him, they were all created after his death, based on descriptions. We have no idea what he actually looked like. And the environmental impact of his conquests is mind-blowing. The death of 40 million people meant vast areas of farmland were abandoned. Nature reclaimed the land, and huge forests began to regrow. These new forests were so massive that they sucked an estimated 700 million tons of carbon from the atmosphere. This was enough to cause a small, but measurable, period of global cooling. Genghis Khan's conquests were so deadly, they literally changed the weather. His genetic legacy is just as staggering, through his own children and the widespread sexual violence committed by his armies. It's estimated that today, around 16 million men, that's 1 in every 200 men on Earth, are his direct descendants. His DNA is one of the most successful lineages in human history. Let's not forget the ultimate mystery: his grave. When he died, he commanded that he be buried in a secret, unmarked location. The soldiers who escorted his funeral procession killed everyone and everything they encountered to hide the route. Then, the slaves who built the tomb were killed by the soldiers, and finally, those soldiers were killed by a final set of escorts. To this day, despite countless searches, the final resting place of Genghis Khan remains one of history's greatest secrets. Protected as fiercely in death as he protected his power in life. A strategic genius, a unifier, a mass murderer, and an accidental environmentalist. The legacy of Genghis Khan is a powerful reminder of how one person's ambition can irrevocably change the course of history. For better and for much, much worse. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the most incredible figures in history.